Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? My name is Rob Carmona, and thank you for tuning in for another episode of Rob the Mic. So, I gotta be honest with y'all. Today, I woke up a little on the rough side. I just feel like life is lifing right now, if that makes sense. And I'm sure probably even after I said that, a lot of y'all are probably like, "Yup, that part." And I didn't want to record. I didn't want to record. It's almost 1:30 in the afternoon right now. I was catching up on some work in the morning, but like as soon as I finished everything up, I was like, I don't want to record today. And as much as I didn't want to do that, I was like, I have to do it. I have to do it. Like, even though I'm not in the mental space for it, I don't feel like, even in my heart, like I'm not in it. Like, I have to do it. This is a part of my week. It's a part of what I do. I feel like I owe it to you guys, right? Because y'all tune in every single week. For those of you guys who do, and this becomes a part of your Friday, becomes a part of your weekend, your following week. Like, I have a lot of people that really wait for this to go down, and they look forward to it every week. And I started to think about that, and I was like, damn. I know I might be dealing with some things right now. I might not be feeling my greatest, but I'm letting people down. And I know how I feel when there's like certain people that I follow or certain people that I just kind of walk with in the creative space or within the social media realm. And when I don't see posts or when I don't see certain things, I'm like, man, what a bummer. But I also think about it because I'm on that side also creating. I'm like, man, I hope they're all right. Because even though this is something that we are doing, it's really tough sometimes to have to get yourself in front of a camera, talk about things, be candid, and just kind of make content, right? And I think in this space, it becomes a little more difficult because you are so candid, not just in the podcasting space, but I think when you're creating content that can hit close to home, which can go across various realms, right? Like there's people who do it in the automotive industry, with podcasting, with like self-help, all kinds of stuff. Like there's people who are more candid or who will talk about certain things and they just don't want to do it. And I was in that spot where I was like, I don't want to do it. Because again, life is life in right now. And this, not that this was the last thing I wanted to do or last thing on my mind, but that's kind of how I felt. It was at the bottom of the totem pole. But I had to bring it up because I'm like, nah, this isn't right. Like you do this every week. You make the time, you put in the effort, you have people that are supporting you, and you got to do it. And I'm hoping that even by the end of this podcast, that I'll feel a little bit better, and it'll kind of help me get through my day because I do have a long day ahead. There's some things I have to do. I have a meeting later on with the client that I'm trying to get ready for and things like that. So I'm just like, my headspace is it's very clouded right now. It's all over the place. But I'm hoping that by the end of this episode, after talking about a few things, it'll help me out for sure. And I know I took my notes because I started to write down a few things because I was like, what am I going to talk about today? And it's not that it's all over the place. There isn't like a specific subject I want to jump into, which we normally do, right? Like we have our overarching themes and we kind of break it down into little topics and things like that. But I couldn't really come down to anything. At least, again, I think just because of where I'm at. So I started to think about where I'm at right now, how I feel, why I feel that way. And just I guess the subject of like life doing its thing. And I came to realize we can't help how life shows up for us. Right? We have plans, we have things we want to do, and it doesn't always work out that way. And I know that sounds very general and you hear that a lot, but I'm seeing it right now and I'm experiencing it right now. And it's not my first time, of course. Like I've experienced this way too often where I have certain things I want to go down or plans or whatever, and all that shit goes out the window. But I'm also realizing that where I'm at personally, mentally, and also with my career, there are certain things that are just happening that are outside of my control. And I can either do one of two things. I can choose to just kind of sit in it and be sad and be depressed about certain things, or I can take that information and slowly continue to walk forward and take my steps, even if they're very, very small steps, even if they're like the smallest ones in the world. Like at least I'm incrementally trying to move forward, rather than just staying in a place that isn't good for me. And I know it's going to literally get me nowhere. So I'm trying my best to kind of walk with that. But again, you can't help sometimes how life shows up for you. You got to just sit with it. You got to run it and see what the fuck happens. And if it doesn't work out, then okay, let's try a new route. Okay, let's try something else. And that's also the place that I'm in right now too. Certain things aren't working and I'm having to shift. Like in my business right now, there's certain things that aren't working. I'm trying to shift. I'm trying to do certain things and it's not working out. So I'm having to move. Again, I'm having to kind of readjust everything and say, okay, look, this is what's up. This is what needs more time. This is what needs more attention. This is where I have to put myself. So having to adjust that is difficult. There's certain things with my family that I'm having to adjust, having to move. Okay, that's another thing. In my personal life, in my love life, all those things, there's a lot that's being adjusted right now. And I feel like even more so in my personal and my romantic life with like relationships and things like that, a lot of things with different people are getting adjusted. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but adjustments need to be made in order for myself to flourish, for myself to grow. Because I'm noticing that the seeds that I had planted, that even though I'm watering them, they're not yielding anything. So the soil's bad to a certain extent, right? Because I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm trying to take care of certain things, but there's no bloom. There's nothing going down, no matter what I do, no matter what nutrients I add, no matter how I try to change its environment, whatever, it's not working. So I'm like, fundamentally, the soil's bad. So, okay, you know what? Let's cut my losses here. Let's go somewhere else, right? Let's try planting seeds somewhere else. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to plant new seeds in different places so I can figure things out for myself. And I've also come to notice that when good things come for me, they feel so temporary. And that when like bad or negative things tend to come in, I feel like they last for days, for weeks at a time. And it's really tough to kick that because, again, the bad is seeming to just kind of like overtake everything. And I hate that. But it's a mental thing, you know. This is a battle for myself that I'm trying to win right now. And I'm fighting it every day. I know a lot of you are too. I know a lot of you are fighting the exact same battle where you'll catch a win and it feels so good, but it feels like it just came and went. And then there's something else that happens and you're like, damn, dude, like I can't catch a fucking break. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like I can't catch a break. I get something good that happens, or I'll catch a couple moments, sometimes even a couple minutes. And then I feel like it's just gone. Like something just took it from me. But it's okay. It's okay at the same time. Because I also realized within this whole process that what I put my thoughts into, it tends to become the outcome for my life. And an example of that is like, you know, me thinking negatively, like it never gives me space to praise the good things that have happened or the good things that are going on currently in my life, because I'm so fixated on what's wrong instead of what's right. You know, and to elaborate on that, it's like I'm breathing right now. That in itself is a gift that I should be thankful for every day. Because how many months ago was I talking to you guys about the amount of death that was in my life, between cancer, between suicide? It's like there was so much that was being thrown at me, and that not even thrown at me. That's probably not even the right way to say it, but I was experiencing it and it felt like it was being thrown at me. That I will tell you, because I'd catch a moment and then boom, here's another one. Boom, here's another one. And I'm like, motherfucker, dude. But there's so much good right now at the same time. Again, the fact that I can wake up, I got my hands, I got my legs, you know, I can walk around, I can do what I need to do, that I have a support system. There's people who actually care, that I can reach out to and shoot the shit for anything, you know, whether it's something heavy, it's something not so heavy, whatever, that I have these experiences that get put in front of me, and sometimes I take them for granted, sometimes. But then when I can allow myself to be in those moments, it's like, yo, this is really beautiful. Like I'm really fortunate to be here right now. No lie. Despite everything that's happening, it's like I talk to you guys about my grounding techniques, right? Like I have to remind myself like, yo, like you're here right now and that's it. Nothing else matters. And the thoughts in your head and the emotions that you're feeling because of those thoughts, they're not even real. You're spiraling up here, but the reality of it is, let's say I'm at a friend's barbecue, but I'm in my head. What am I doing? I got to get out of there. I should be present right here with my homies at this barbecue. You know, like that happened to me on Saturday. I had gone out with a friend of mine to one of our mutual friends' 50th birthdays. Really dope experience, really cool. It was nice to catch up with everybody because a lot of those people I had gone to Utah with. So I went to Sand Hollow and I hadn't seen them since. You know, we see each other, of course, like on IG and we interact here and there. But there's a difference between seeing people like that in real life, right? So we got to catch up, we got to talk, laugh, a lot of good vibes. A lot of good vibes for sure. It was something that I almost bailed out on, and I'm glad that I didn't. Because I was in a funk on Saturday too. But I got myself out. And I'm glad I pushed through, glad I went. But when I was there, I noticed I had a couple moments of just kind of chilling. And I started to fall into this place where I started to think about things, started thinking about people, started thinking about situations, what they could be doing, what's going on, how I feel. You know, just I was really going through it about all kinds of shit. But then I realized it was taking away from my experience there. I wasn't enjoying the people around me. I wasn't enjoying the place, the time, everything. And I had to snap myself out of it like really, really quick. And I'm like, oh shit, hold on. Dude, you're here right now. You're never going to get this back. It's your buddy's 50th. That's it. Everybody's here right now. We're all safe. We're all together. What are you going to do? You're going to waste this moment right now thinking and fixating on bullshit that you don't even know about? Like, what's the point of that? Right? Like, I can't do that to myself. I'm robbing myself of experiences that I know that I deserve, that I know that I need in my life. But even though it's being given to me, I'm stripping it from myself. That's not even life doing it. That's me doing it to myself. It's like self-sabotage, right? So I'm like, nah, man, I gotta back up. I gotta back up and pull away from this like negative way of thinking, this kind of cloud that I've kind of put over myself recently. And, you know, keywords that I've put over myself, not that life has, because life is, again, even though life be lifing, it's not doing that. I'm the one that's doing that. I'm in my head. I'm putting these thoughts out. I'm having myself feel some sort of way, and I can't do that anymore. Because I also see what it's doing to me, how debilitating it is. And that's the most fucked up part when you realize shit like that. And I think on that same, kind of within that same realm, you know, we all learn about like the whole glass half empty, half full type of situation. And that's just, it's very common. It's taught to all of us. We all have heard it in some way, shape, or form, some way or another, right? But when things happen to us and we look at the glass a certain way, we seem to forget how lucky, like how blessed we are in the midst of all the chaos. And that's why I say that specifically, because again, this refers back to what I experienced on Saturday. And you know what? It even happened to me on Sunday too. Got together for a friend's first birthday for her son. Well, I'm friends with both of them, like the husband and the wife. So like both of them collectively, their baby turned 1. So shouts to him, shouts to Max. And I noticed myself just kind of drifting off. I had a couple drinks, you know, we're taking shots all day, moving stuff around, trying to get things ready. But I also noticed I had my moments. And I started to look at the glass half full, believe it or not. Even being in that situation, I started to look at it like that. Like, and to be 100% real with y'all, because I mean, I always try to be real with y'all, but I started to think about me feeling lonely. And, you know, I wish I had somebody next to me. I wish I had somebody like romantically that was with me at that point. Because, you know, I got my homies there. They have their people. They got their kids running around. And I felt very out of place. And I hated that. I even hate saying this shit out loud. But I don't know how else to talk about it. And this is a part of what I'm feeling. It's part of what I'm thinking right now, right? But that was me looking at the glass half empty. But I had to sit there and realize, like, wait, hold on. You have all these people next to you. You've literally never been alone this entire day. Ever. You have people who really love you around you. Like everywhere. Everywhere that you look is somebody that you love and somebody that loves you. And when I got out of my head, not that I wasn't enjoying myself, because I had the best fucking time on Sunday. Sunday was such a beautiful day. Like, as a whole, like, just the entire party, the situation with the family, like being with the people that I love the most in this world, like aside from my mom, that's the only person that was missing. And my mom couldn't go with me to this function because she's been a little under the weather lately. So, I didn't want her to be like, to feel uncomfortable, just being sick and being around all these people. It's like, I wish she could have been there to experience that. But it's like, aside from that, like, dude, I have everyone I need right here. My heart was full. My soul was full. Like, it was nothing but light. Nothing but light. So I had to snap out. I said, nah, dude, the glass is full right now. It's not even halfway. It's because I felt like I was looking at it from a certain distance and I was like squinting a certain way. So I couldn't really see. But once I kind of like, rubbed my eyes and just kind of cleared my vision a little bit, I'm like, nah, dude, this shit's full. The glass is full right now. You're good. You're fucking good. But again, even in the midst of chaos, it's difficult sometimes. But we are the only ones that can fix anything about that. We're the only ones that can do something about shit to change it. And it's us. It's a mental thing. It's the reality. It's bringing yourself back. It's grounding. It's all those techniques that we talk about all the time. This is why they're so important. Because even in moments like that, if you can't do it, no one's going to be able to bring you down. Because you're over here floating. You're fucking around in something that doesn't even exist. And, with on that same subject, I guess, of like feeling alone and things like that, I also came to realize that, there's some people, when they walk away or they exit your life for whatever reason, there could be multiple reasons why. And it hurts us to the core. Like, it fucks you up. It leaves you feeling empty. It leaves you feeling like you're missing a whole piece of you. And it's okay to miss people like that. Like, for whatever reason, whether it was a relationship, whether it was a friend, whether it was family, whether it was that they've passed away, maybe they're just not in your life anymore. However, missing that person is okay for anything that you need, because this is a personal battle, right? These are things that you have to deal with. And when people tell you, oh, why do you miss this person? Let's say if it was a failed relationship, why do you miss this? It's like, because I do. You don't have to justify anything to anybody. If you feel that you miss this person and you feel some sort of way about them, it's okay. That's for you. Again, you have no need to justify anything to anyone. If mentally you need your moments with that, take your moments with it. Do what you have to do. Because I have to grant myself that shit all the time. All the time. And in those moments when I do that, I also realize how much I've flourished, how much I've bloomed through everything, despite difficulties, despite losing people for multiple reasons, whether they've passed, whether they've not, whether they've just left, whether I've lost contact, things like that. I've also seen the other side of that, and I'm experiencing it. I'm living it right now. This podcast, the way it's grown, the community that I say we again, because this is because of y'all. This is why we have a community. But things that we've created, I look at my work, my creative work on my side, the things I'm doing with design, things I'm doing with photo, cinematography, things of the sort, brand developments, clothing, all these things. I'm like, damn, dude, you know what? Look at this. Because put myself a year ago, damn, dude, like, honestly, I would have never seen any of this shit for myself a year ago. Where the business has gone, the podcast, all of it, everything that I've kind of set up, I never saw it blooming the way that it has. And I'm continuing to water these things. And this is a part of it, right? Like, this is me watering this project right now, this seed, because I want it to grow. As difficult as it is, as much as I didn't want to garden today, I have to. I have a responsibility to myself. Even on my roughest days, I got to show up for me. Because if I don't show up, no one's going to show up for me. I don't have someone that's going to come record this podcast. You know what I mean? I don't have someone else that's going to show up and be like, oh, Rob can't come in today. So you know what? Today we're going to talk about potatoes. Like, no, dude, I don't have that shit. That's not what this is. I don't have a team. It's me, myself, my equipment, my microphone. And that's it. That's all I got. So if I don't show up for me, nobody's going to show up for me. But again, through this whole process, as difficult as some things have been, it's also shown me how much I've grown. And that I can't continue to look at my life with such gloom, because every day I get a chance to do it over. And I'm lucky, I'm blessed to be able to do so. Because how many people aren't going to get that chance? How many people just don't? They don't have another option. They can't do shit like that. They don't have, how would you say, the luxury? Because I do consider it a luxury to be in the position that I'm in, for sure. And they're never going to get that. But I have it. And I have had it. So I'm trying to remember that every single day. And with that, I'm trying to shift my mornings right now to leave more time for reflection on multiple things, not just what's good, but I have to also reflect on things that are bad, things that aren't working out so well, because it also reminds me of the good, right? Because it's like, okay, this, but don't forget this or that or that. And all of those things that I point at that are good will always tower what's bad, because the bad things are what has happened. The good things are what's happening. And that brings me constantly back to a present state. Because again, we're sitting in this whole negative thing. It's like, fuck, dude, I notice what it does. And it might seem like fucking common sense. Like, duh, if you think negative, all you're going to be is negative. Yeah, it is common sense. And yeah, it can be easily said that way. But when you're in that mindset, how hard is it for you to pull yourself out? For those of you who've experienced it, right? How hard is it for you to pull yourself out? It's the most difficult shit in the world. You feel like you're in that fucking pit from Batman. And you're like, how the fuck am I going to get out of this shit, dude? And then eventually you find your days that you try to climb up and then you fall your ass back down. You get fucked up, dude. You get slammed against the rocks on the way down. But then there's also times where you're like, you know what? Fuck this. I can get it. I'm going to get all the way to the top. And you do. And you get out. And it's cool. That's a part of life. That's how shit works. You're supposed to do that. You fall, you get back up, you fall, you get back up. And a lot of the times, it's going to be harder every time. But I also think that's a part of life too. Things don't necessarily get easier because you start to learn how to navigate different situations. And I feel like for myself, that's what I try to remind myself. And in my moments of reflection in the morning, I do that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Here we are. This is what we're going to do today. This is how we're going to do it. This is why we're going to do that. And that's it. One step at a time. I don't have anything else. I have control over nothing else. So here we go. Let's run it. I get up, put my feet on the ground. I says, let's hit it. Let's fucking hit it. And again, it's okay to have moments where you're stuck in your feelings. And again, that's me right now. I am stuck. I feel like I'm in a place that I'm like, fuck, dude. Not that I'm not going to get out, but I just hate where I'm at right now, specifically at this point in time. But it's okay. I also have to be gentle with myself and say, yo, it's all right. It's cool to be like this. It's cool to feel this way. It's cool to feel things of the sort. Yesterday in therapy in the morning, I had a really early session at 9 a.m., which for my therapist, like for us, it is an early session. So for me, it was an early session. And she's like, what's up? I said, what do you mean? Like, we were like halfway through the session. She's like, what's up? I said, what are you talking about? She's like, I don't know. You just seem different. You seem off. I said, yeah, 100%. So there's a lot of things, Some of it's what we were talking about already. I started mentioning some other things. And she's like, okay. Because I see. She's like, look, it's okay. It's okay to feel that way right now. She's like, but what I need you to do is work at coming out of it. Be easy on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Oh, why do you feel this way? No. She goes, it's okay. Feel what you feel. It's all good. But stay busy. Stay occupied. Keep moving, Robert. She's like, keep moving. Whether it's making plans with your friends, whether it's going to dinner, whether it's, putting time into your work, meetings, clients, anything like that. Put time and really do it. Use your whole body, your soul, everything. Put everything you have into everything you do. She goes, because that's what you need right now. You have to show yourself what you're capable of. And I need that. Again, that's why even today I had to muscle up and do this. This is a part of it. I have to show myself, hey, you know what? Even in times that you feel like fucking shit, that you don't want to function. You want to just lay down in bed. You don't want to watch TV. You don't want to do anything. You just want to fucking lay there and think and fall into this crazy hole that you've created. But I can't allow myself to do that. I can have moments where I'm like, I can like look down in the hole and just be like, that looks pretty nutty, and then just keep going. Because if sometimes I'll lean over to look so deep and I end up falling in. And it's like, oh man, those moments are really tough. Because then that's where Albert comes in, and that's where him and Yessie have to turn around and fucking pull my ass out. And I say them because they help me a lot. Aside from my therapist, they help me a lot. Or I have, Sebastian, and he'll give me the tough love I need a lot of the times. And he does it from a place of love. It's, again, not to be a dickhead, but he'll pull me out. It might be a little more violent how he pulls me out, but it's really helpful. And I have my different times and different things where I need different people, right? But again, I have to be careful falling into that loop. And I've been in that for a long time where I come in, I come out, I come in, I come out. And I'm like, I got to create a little more consistency. So even today on hard days, changing how I feel in the morning, changing my thought process, rather than jumping on IG, jumping straight to socials, responding to messages. However, I can't do shit like that because I also notice the negative impact that it has, because I'm seeing things I don't want to fucking see first thing in the morning. You know what I mean? I don't. And I notice that you have to repurpose your thoughts, think about how good things are instead of how much you've lost, all of that. And also, even with that social media thing that I mentioned briefly right now, right? Like starting my morning with that, like just first thing, flip over, do my stretch, grab my phone, and it's just right away onto like Instagram or something like that. Albert and I were having a talk Sunday night, and just again about social media and how toxic it is, and to fall into a storm of comparison, and because that shit isn't even real. The shit that we're seeing, right? A lot of it, like the lives that people portray for themselves and everything like that, like it's all made up, dude. But with the way we see it, especially when you're in a bad mental state, you're like, that shit seems so real. Everything that's going down. Oh, that couple seems so happy. Oh, this looks like this looks like that. It's not that way. Or for myself, I'll see houses that get posted for sale, right? Because I follow a lot of realty. Like I'm really into properties and things like that. And I'm like, damn, dude, new starter home comes out. See this beautiful video for something here in SoCal. Starter home, chill, decent square footage, 3 bedrooms, $1 million. For myself, it's not that it's a negative thing, but it's a negative thing right now because I'm like, fuck, dude, how am I supposed to get that right now? And then I'll go and continue looking at stuff, keep seeing beautiful things. Again, $1 million, 1.1, 1.2, 1.5. I'm like, shit. Again, that's a negative thing for me. So I have to watch out. I have to change how I look at certain things. I can maybe look at it and be like, ooh, I really like how this sink looks. Or I really like all these types of things. I love what they did with the floor. I love how the walls look. Dang, that like sliding door is incredible. Everything in between. Look at it from that perspective versus being like, how am I going to do that? Or seeing what the fuck the government's doing. Again, negative shit. That was a part of my morning today. I was having a whole ass conversation with Brianna about this shit. We were talking about just like student loans and things like that and just crazy shit. And this isn't her fault. Like, I'm not saying, it's because she want to talk about it. But it's like, this is an example of things that I see, things I come across, and things I had already seen just before she had hit me up about it. I had seen something on my Explore page about what she was talking about. So I was just like, all right, here we go. But again, I got to watch out. Social media isn't where I need to be first thing in the morning. What I need to do, bring myself back down to earth, wake up, process my dreams if I had any dreams. Because recently I've been dreaming a lot and they've been super vivid. They've been kind of crazy. I've been trying to like break shit down. And I'm not really successful with that right now. Like certain things I can interpret and I remember and I'll Google those things and try and like see what certain dreams mean, certain signs, things I remember. But I like to do stuff like that. Trying to shift again, do like breathing exercises, kind of sit with myself, center myself in the universe that I've created for me. Go have breakfast, do my thing, check out some emails, then start touching on social. when I'm good, like I'm up, I'm moving, I'm doing my thing. So now when I look at socials, it's a little more passive. It's more so me just checking in with people or me talking with homies, responding to memes that they send me or I send them, whatever. But it doesn't seem so much of like a doom and gloom where I'm seeing all these people, oh, flashing money here, doing this, that, blah, 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 traveling here, traveling there, doing that. It doesn't seem like I'm being bombarded with bullshit. Because again, social media is all bullshit. In my opinion, I really do think it's all bullshit. I could 100% do without it in my life. I don't need it. I don't care for it. I struggle with it daily, for sure, weekly, without a fucking doubt. And again, like I've brought this up to you guys where like people will be like, oh, dude, you know, I commented on your photos, you didn't comment back, whatever. And it's like, dude, you're not the only person that's commented. There's like 20 other comments on there. And I get overwhelmed between DMs, all this type of shit. And I'm not trying to make excuses, but if I don't want to interact or I feel some sort of way, it's not because I don't, you know, because I'm mad at you or something like that. It's just because this is a lot for me. Even though I do this every week, a lot of this shit is still a lot for me. The social interactions, things like that. And it's not that I've developed some sort of social anxiety, but these types of things aren't super fucking important to me. Like I do it because I want to, because it makes me happy. You know, like with my photography, things like that. I will share that work with you guys because I want to share it. I don't do it for likes. I don't do it for comments. I don't do it for follows. Like it's not a thing for me. I don't look at the analytics because that's not a part of what I do. It is a part of my job for certain clients, for certain things. You know, we'll have to look at the insights, look at this, look at that, what it's doing for ads, all of that. Like that's fine. But I can also separate those things. And for myself, I'm just like, this ain't it. I want to share this with y'all. Look at this thing that I brought for show and tell today. But aside from that, that's it. That's it. That's how I have to look at it. That's how I see it in my head. And whether that's the right mentality or the wrong mentality, I don't fucking know. But I also have people that I know, acquaintances. I see what social media does for them and how it's affected them mentally and emotionally. And for some of them, it's like just watching them, the way that they've changed. I'm like, what the fuck? That shit's gross. Like you didn't used to be like that. You're mad big headed now because you have X amount of followers or because whatever the fuck you do. Like you still ain't shit. You weren't shit then and you for sure ain't shit now. And I'm not going to call people out. So no, I ain't giving y'all names. But that shit's annoying. It's like, it's mad corny, bro. Like I'm not for that shit. So again, I don't give a fuck. It's not my vibe. I don't like it. Social media doesn't make you who you are. It doesn't make you a better person. You could come to me and have 10 million followers. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you have 10 million followers. Like, if you're not cool, I don't want to talk to you. If the vibes aren't right, if you're not good for me personally, exit stage left. Straight up. We ain't talking. We ain't having this conversation. I'm removing myself from the situation. Because again, I don't care. And you know, like through over the years, like living here in LA, I've met like famous people, right? And for myself, thankfully I've never been in a situation where I'm just like, oh my God, you know, but I've met some really cool people. And I'm just like, dude, like, I don't care if you're a movie star. I don't care if you're a music artist or you're really on this fucking super famous TV show, like whatever. If you're cool, you're cool. That's it. Shake your hand, say, what's up? How you feeling? What's up? How's your day going? Shit like that. Because again, fame, all these are things that we as people have painted and have made, right? Like how many people nowadays are famous that are fucking straight up trash bags? And we're like, oh my God, why are they famous? Because people have made them that way because they've put them in places of power. And I'm like, nah, you can miss me with all that. Like I know for sure, especially within the automotive community, like those of you guys who are from the automotive side who are listening and are watching this right now, y'all already know what I'm talking about. How many dudes out there and girls too act some sort of way because of their social media, right? Oh, I got this many followers, and you remember what they were before that or however, and you're like, ugh, you like, I mean, you were corny then, but damn, you like super corny now. Like I didn't want to fuck with you then. I didn't. You were just around. Now, catch me not even in the same area, dude. Like I'm not trying to be around you because you act some sort of way, because you give off some sort of vibe. There's very few people in the industry that I'm in who kept it 100% of the time. Very few people. Like for sure, who I will shout out, Sally. You don't follow her, you don't know who she is. Team Sally Racing on IG, TikTok, all over the place. She's a real one. She's been the same person 100% of the time from day fucking one. I've known her for almost 15 years now. We go way the fuck back. Shouts to WFC. She's always been that girl. She's always been that girl. She's always kept it real. She's always been super street. She's about the culture. She keeps it real with herself. She's always been this girl. And I'm like, that's who people need to take notes from. People like that. Somebody who really stands for something, who's about it. They're not trying to pretend to be somebody. They're not changing their image. They're not dressing a certain way. They're not trying to act a certain way. Nothing like that. And for me, again, being in this realm within the creative space, it's like I look at shit like that because it doesn't matter to me. As long as you're cool, we are cool. And again, that's a part of why in the mornings, I like to change my process. And changing my process as of recent, so I see certain things, or how I process information, it's really shifted up for sure. And it's funny, I was talking to one of my buddies, Rob, yesterday, and we had seen something funny, like some sort of meme, and it was regarding unfollowing people on IG. And he was like, dude, recently I got blitzed and unfollowed like a fuck ton of people. And I went to his page and I was like, oh, damn, dude, you unfollowed like a shit ton of people. Like, it was insane. And not that I knew his numbers before, but I remember him following like, I don't know, it was like a couple hundred people. And it's not like that anymore. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, dude, I got to do that. He goes, dude, yeah. He goes, have a couple drinks, just be chilling. And next thing you know, get up on that bitch, unfollow. Cause yeah, there's certain people that I'm like, I don't need this. And I know it when I see it on their stories. Like, I have certain people I'm just like, I'm tired of your shit. I don't want to see all your government talk. I don't want to see all your bullshit. Like, whatever. And I'm not saying it's just government talk, but I'm saying just bullshit in general. I'm like, I'm tired of you. Block. I'm gonna unfollow your ass. You know what I mean? Like, I got to start doing that. I got to start filtering what I'm looking at. Because especially being in the space that I'm in right now, I need positive. I need good. I need things that inspire me, that push me to new heights, to new places, that bring me good. I don't need things that bring me bullshit. I don't need that. And honestly, it's like my social media is my space. It's like my house. I think that's the way we have to look at it. Like, our social media is our house. You allow all these things. It's like putting up pictures on the wall. Do you want to see bullshit when you walk into your house? You know what I mean? Keep it 100 with me, y'all. You want to walk in your house and see a bunch of ugly ass pictures and painting and bullshit? No, you don't want to see that. You ain't gonna put that up. That's the way I'm trying to look at my socials right now. That's the way I'm trying to look at the content that I'm taking in. Look at things that inspire me, that are good for me. Whether it's, again, automotive stuff, art, anything like that. Things that inspire, that push me to good places. And I'm trying to get myself to a better spot. And I know those types of things because of what I do. I am very much involved in this world. So I need to start filtering my vision because I want to see certain things. And I need to do that for myself. And I was trying to think, as always, for some advice for you guys. But this bit of advice, I guess it's not really advice. It's like something I want to ask you guys to do. And whether y'all do it or not, like, obviously it's entirely up to you. But this is what it is. So I want you guys to write out a list of 5 things that you're grateful for, whether it's on your phone, a piece of paper, a Post-it note, whatever. And under those 5 things, I want you guys to be very specific about this next part. Very specific as to why you're grateful for those things and why they remain as your top 5 things that you're grateful for right now. Like, if you have certain people, why is that person so important? Write it out. Like, for myself, I have people and why they're so important to me. Multiple reasons. I could go on for hours. Certain memories, certain situations that I'm grateful for. It can be anything, any 5 things or more if you need to. You want to expand that list? Expand the list. I'm just saying, minimum, at least write down 5 things and then break it down. Why you're so fucking grateful. Not just that. Don't just say, oh, my mom. Right? My mom because XYZ. Oh, my brother because XYZ. My job because XYZ. All of that. Think about it. Be really interesting because I did that recently and I was like, I'm here for it. I had more than 5 things I was grateful for, but I challenged myself to limit it to 5. What were the things, like life or death? What are the top 5 for me, right? Once I did that and I saw it and I broke it down, I said, this is it. This is it. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I needed to see something for myself. And it was an interesting piece that I had pulled from somebody that I look up to within the mental health space. And when I heard her talk about this, I said, you know what? I got to do that. I got to do that. I got to try it for myself. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for sitting with me today, having this conversation, hearing me out. I feel I do feel a little bit lighter. It's nice to be able to talk about these things with you guys. It's good. It's like another therapy sesh, you know. I know I still got a lot to go, especially today. I got some things I got to work through still, but I'm going to be all right. And I know come tonight when I'm sitting there in bed and I'm reflecting on my day, this is going to be a part of my reflection. So you know what? Today's cast was good. It felt good. It felt right. I'm glad I got to open up the floor this way. And again, for those of you guys, if you feel some sort of way, you want me to talk about certain things, reach out to me. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a text, you know, however, for those of you, if you have all my information, however you guys want to get a hold of me, don't hesitate. Leave comments below, like how it affected you. What's up? Like, this is a safe space, y'all. It always is. Whether it's in the comments, anything like that, nobody's judging anybody. The people who are here, who fuck with this, are here for a reason. It's because we're all on the same page. We're all about it. So again, thank you guys for your love, your support, your light, everything that you give me every time you show up. Thank you guys. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, a beautiful rest of your week, an amazing weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next one.